Whatever the scenario is or was, this is something serious, like very serious. As you can see from the title of the video here, you read it right. Father of murdered pizza delivery driver forgives killer that brings court to tears. Oh my god, this is something emotional. How was the father able to forgive his son's murderer? So confused. Was he in the right mind or what? Or maybe this is how forgiveness and humanity works together. So the whole story happened in Lexington, but what exactly happened in the courtroom? Before getting started, if there are any videos you want, get into the comments and let us know. So a pizza delivery boy was murdered and his body was found lying beside a breezeway of the complex. At first, the jury was so freezed at the fact that an innocent boy was murdered as part of a robbery. This young man was on his way to make his final delivery for the night, and that was when he was attacked. So what happened was on April the 19th, 2015, Jitmood, the pizza delivery boy, was about to deliver his final delivery for the day to the Walnut Hill apartment complex on Trent Circle Road. He was stabbed by someone to death and he was also robbed. This young man of 22 years old was found lying in a breezeway of the apartments by investigators. The boy was the only hope for the entire family. Though we don't have much more information about the boy, it was really heartbreaking to find an innocent boy to be killed. After the investigation, 3 people were arrested for the murder, but the grand jury only convicted Relford. As per the officials, it was Relford who planned the whole show of robbery. Though it was found that he was the one who planned everything, he clearly denied the killing of Jitmood. Jitmood was a Muslim, and his father forgave and told Relford, who was convicted of the murder of his son, on behalf of Salahuddin and his mother, who died 2 years before her son. When questioned about this emotional stand he took, the father replied he did it in the spirit of Islam. The father forgave and hugged the man who murdered his son and was sentenced to 31 years in prison in the US state of Kentucky. According to CNN affiliate WKYT, during the verdict in Lexington, Kentucky on Tuesday, Abdul Munim Sumbat Jitmood hugged Trey Alexander Relford, who cried along as the uncertainty happened to his son. How can someone be so forgiving? How could the father hold his emotions intact while he heard the verdicts? How was he able to hug the convicted person without any anger? How could he do that? Maybe this is how forgiveness works. This is how one should bring their enemy down, or say make the one who hurt you be hurt. Words said not. Relford is broken from deeds of Jitmood's father and the things he had done to Jitmood. As per the report submitted by the jury, Relford was sentenced to 31 years imprisonment for this murder. He stabbed Salahuddin Jitmood to death at an apartment complex in Lexington in 2015. Hearing the judgment after all these years, and the response he made in the courtroom followed with tears. He had a powerful aura, and even at one point the judge had to call for recess for the emotional hearing. This is unbelievable, guys. See, death is inevitable, that's understood, right? If you are born, you have to die. It's a natural principle. So which means one will die when it is his time. But it's not justifiable when your life is being taken by someone else for nothing. Pretty sure this boy was working his ass off even at the age of 22, trying and saving for himself and his family. It's really hard to find a job, and that too, this job has to fill in your needs with necessary paychecks. And if one job couldn't, then we'd have to look for another. Likewise, this cycle runs. You know it's really hard to pull and to join the strings of needs attached to fulfillment of the same. Working your ass off to satisfy it is unimaginably hard. You can see foreigners trying to get a life, doing every possible job. In the end, on October the 26th, Relford pleaded guilty to the charges of murder, conspiring robbery, and acting on the same and attempted actions for tampering the evidence. The door of opportunity for God to forgive him is open, so reach out to him. You have a new chapter of good life coming, he told Relford in court. As per the reports and news on CNN, the father said, Islam teaches that God will not be able to forgive someone unless the person they wronged has done so first. The father even said, I'm angry at the devil, who misguided you and misleaded you to doing such a horrible crime. I don't blame you, I'm not angry at you, I forgive you. Whatever happens to you is from Allah. Let the believer put their trust in him. After making this powerful statement, he hugged Relford, who himself was in tears. Relford's mother told Jitmud's father, "I am deeply sorry for your loss. I am shocked at your forgiveness. I take total, full responsibility for the loss of your beautiful son," she added. Jitmud's father's act was then followed by advice to Relford and have him read the Quran in order to find peace. The 51st verse of the 9th chapter of the Quran is one verse that comforted him the most. "Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector, and upon Allah let believers rely," he added. Wait, what? This is exactly the best example of what a Muslim is supposed to be. How does he have such a big heart? How was he able to forgive him for murdering his son? I don't know, so don't ask us. So, was wondering how much money this poor boy would have in him for taking someone else's life. What was more heartbreaking is how the father stood in front of his son's murderer and forgave him. In fact, after the whole verdict, the father said that he whispered into Relford's ear to do good deeds when he gets out of prison, and that he has confidence that Allah is forgiving. In the end, Relford addressed Jitmud's family. "There is nothing I can really say. I'm sorry about what happened that day. I can't do anything to give that back to you," said Trey Relford. Hearing all these words, the jury was set out with emotions and he cried. A moment will be noted in history that made Judge Kim Bonnell to be filled with tears. Relford's mother claimed that she sent him to Lexington in order to get him away from violences in Atlanta, and she was grateful to Jitmud's family as they forgave her son for his mistake. Kindness. Kindness prevails over everything, right? One of the best things to be taught to the coming generations. Maybe kindness needs not be taught, it has to be learned by oneself. Though, who wouldn't care for others' mistakes? People tend to project on some mistake that they might have even made out of a mistake. The value of forgiving someone for their mistake is the best punishment the other could receive. They would be devastated when they are forgiven for the biggest mistake they have ever made. This doesn't mean forgiveness is a sign of weakness. It is more likely to be described as a factor of strength. The moment you forgive someone for the things they have done, it helps you to be free from the control of the other person who harmed you. If you liked the video, do hit the like button. Let us know in the comments how well forgiveness has worked for you in your life. Also, for more videos, do subscribe to our channel.